right, we're
Huh?
back. Hi, for another Coffee with the Collective. Today we're going to be talking about how to pick a real estate agent, what to ask them, how to make sure you're choosing someone who's the right fit for what you're looking for. We see it a lot this time of year. We're at the beginning of the year while we're recording this, and a lot of new people reaching out to make, their housing goals and dreams this year happen. And who
Mhm.
you choose as an agent as your partner is such a critical point in that. We obviously work in Chicago, but we refer clients all over the nation. We have agents in every state and major city for the most part.
Mhm.
We have a massive network. And what we're going to share today in terms of what to ask the agent is actually what we ask these agents when we're establishing referral partners. And so we think it's so important to share. We really do think that an educated client is an empowered client. And so as much information that we can give you to apply in your lives, the better. So I think first, Emily, where do people find agents, buyers agents and sellers agents?
Well, I think number one is a referral, which seems so obvious, but I like to think that, those that you're speaking with and connecting with and your general peers are probably, you know, people that are like kind, and the realtor that they've been working with and hopefully have had great success with and a good relationship with is someone that you would also vibe with. And so I think it's always helpful to reach out to those that you know who have maybe recently bought a property and if they enjoy the person that they were working with. And I find that maybe like 90 to 95% of at least CHC's business is 100%, most of it's actually 100% referral based. Whether that comes from another agent, like where we've connected clients in other cities, but also a lot of keeping it in the fam with a lot of
In the
friends,
fam.
stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I think that the interesting thing about referral, right, is you're getting the whole story. You're
yeah,
getting the whole picture of what it was like from day one to the end. And like you said, our friends often understand like our ways of operating and our standards and things like that, and can really speak to who could be a good partner. So referrals are great. I think I saw a statistic the other day that 65% of people still get go start with a referral source.
yeah.
And then, of course, you can go online and vet and verify those resources or those referrals. Um, so, yeah, referrals are awesome. And then I would say the second is if you truly don't have a referral and no one in your circle has done this yet, Zillow is a great place because what I like about Zillow is that the reviews that are on there are vetted reviews. It's a little bit different than Google or other online platforms, but Zillow makes you source your address and actually verifies that you were, in fact, a client of that agent
Yeah.
in order to be even allowed to leave a review. So Zillow is great because those reviews are really, truly from the right people. And
Hmm.
also, you can search on Zillow by your exact location, which we're going to talk about. So, Chicago for us, it's a big market. So, if you just Google Chicago Realtor, you could be pulling people from all different neighborhoods or in different specialties, micro niche markets. So, having to be able to go on Zillow and look closer at a map and see really the agents who have done the level of business that would give them the experience needed in the specific neighborhood you're looking for. So I think Zillow is an awesome option too.
Yeah. And so Zillow shows you how many recent transactions that agent does or has done. But I'm curious, Kelly, like, do you not like how do you value an agent, or when you're looking online for agents, are you merely looking at the level of experience that they have or how long they've been doing it, their team, stuff like
Yeah,
that?
I think it's such a great question. I think length in this industry is kind of arbitrary, truthfully. Like I know of people who've been
I
in
would
here in the
agree.
business for 10 or 20 years and have done not that many transactions, right? So I think
Mhm.
it's the number of transactions that the agent and the team has done
Yeah.
is really important because it's really about the volume of experiences that you have had that
Mhm.
allow you to really be an expert agent.
Yeah.
So I would look for and like what you said, yeah, Zillow is great because it's not just reviews, but it's number of transactions. So you can really see how many transactions that agent has done, the types of properties they're selling. So if you're a single family home buyer and you want to be in this particular market, do you see a history of that for that specific agent?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great point.
And I think it's
Yeah.
In speaking to the length in which people have been practicing real estate, there are a lot of agents who are backed by these high-powered, high-ranked teams where their level of exposure is automatically heightened because of the level of transactions that they're seeing on a regular basis. And so I think that always allows someone to speak just like the history that they've had in supporting that team. So
yeah, so experience over length of time doing this job, particularly experience in the last 2 years, because it was such an unusual housing market that if the agent was really busy and doing a lot of deals, then you should be really well supported for, the different market nuances that have been going down. So I
yeah,
think that's a really great point. And particularly teams, like choosing an agent who is on a team, because it just multiplies the experience and the exposure and the support that you can have as a client.
yeah. And something that I always like to kind of come back to is that every agent has access to like their MLS data, but it's really about the analysis that agent can provide you. That's really imperative to just your transaction in general. So that kind of in combination with experience.
Yeah. So I think like a specific question that you would ask agents is, what is your experience? How many deals have you done in the last 24 months?
Mm-hmm.
How many deals has your team done in that same amount of time?
Yeah.
And then, do you feel confident and grounded in your ability to analyze the data over the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, because things are changing so quickly? And then also ask them like, what is their outlook on the market? And that'll say a lot too about their experience as well. So to give like real tangible questions for people to ask, those would be great ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important to ask that agent that you may be interviewing, like what their availability is and if they have a defined process. For me, like when I'm interviewing other agents cross country for clients that are moving or for their family members, like any agent who can come back to me and say that they have a defined process and how they take on new clients and new listings is like music to my ears. That's like my secret sauce that gets me going, because if you have a defined process that you take your clients through, I feel like it's more of a seamless onboarding and introduction to a newer market and a newer city. And so for me, that's really important. And I would encourage others to ask that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's such a great question. I think same thing also, if you have a process, it's because you have the experience, right? And so that's one thing to really look out for as you're speaking to them, to hear what that is, and also to make sure that it's a process that feels right for you too. Sometimes the compatibility is they may have a process, you may not feel super confident in doing it that way, and hearing how different agents approach these things and the level of commitment and then partnership that means for you is so helpful. And part of that too is communication, right? This has been coming up so much for us lately within our client to client conversations, and also as a team of everybody has different levels and desires for communication this time of year, or not this time of year, but around stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
Do they like to text? Do they like to email? Are they, like you already said, available, but do your communication style match? Do you feel like you're understanding what they're telling you, that they just share sort of the same operating ways of doing things that you do is a really helpful.
Yeah, and just being on the same page. And that's kind of the beauty of it, is there are a lot of top producing agents in different markets, and finding someone that you feel aligned with and that you have a similar philosophy and approach to how you're sourcing properties and getting into those properties and talking about the value is equally as important as everything else. So do you like your agent? Would you want to be friends with them?
That's the big thing, you guys. It's okay. Like, it's important to like your agent. Like, you're doing something really big and really, important in your life. And so to have a good relationship where you enjoy spending time with them, you're going to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
It is an important part of that equation. I would say, like, it's the nice bow that ties it all together, truthfully. So, these are the initial questions. So I'll kind of just like recap. So where do you find an agent, by referral or Zillow? What questions should you ask them? What has been their experience over the last couple of years? How many deals have they done? Where did they source their deals from?
Mhm.
What areas do they serve, and make sure it's the area that you want to be in? What is their availability to help you and support you? And what else was that? I think that's, yeah. Oh, and about like what's their process for analyzing the data, and how confident do they feel with the current market conditions? And then
Yeah.
what are their processes and communication styles? So lots there for you in this lovely 10-minute, just sort of gift of this is the stuff that we ask agents nationally when we're pairing them with our clients, and what you can be asking yours as well. So always here to talk about these things. If you guys have any questions, reach out to Chicago Home Collective. But we will be back regularly to keep you updated on all things real estate. So take care. Bye,
Sound.
Em.
Bye.